That's hilarious. Well, hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. This is the Adventures at Mile High Beach, and I'm Alicia.
And I'm Plachette.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Thanks for watching. We appreciate it immensely. Today's topic is going to be travel day prep. Now, we've been doing this for about
8 months.
About 8 months now, yeah.
8 months.
And we've gotten into a bit of a routine. And what's funny about this is, you know, when we roll into a campground or whatever, people are surprised to see two women. But I will tell you, one of the things that's really helped us to stay on track is our travel day prep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just being organized. I mean, we're both, we were both project managers trained, and so having a list and being organized really just helps the whole process be less stressful. Keeps us organized. Because moving one of these around is
not a small thing.
It's not a small thing. We will do a tour video that is coming, but it's not a small thing to get everything all situated to travel. So we wanted to spend some time talking about how we did that.
Yeah. And so on the note of lists, we have a few different lists. We have the list that's 24 hours before we leave. There's a few things on that list. One that's 12 hours before we leave. One that's the day of, a hitching checklist, and a camp setup checklist. And all of that was inspired.
Yes.
Yeah.
All that was inspired by Changing Lanes, Chad and Tara. They have basically a very similar T-24, I think is how they refer to theirs. And so we really just took that and ran with it.
Yeah.
We made some modifications, that made sense for our situation, but it was very helpful to just understand kind of what they were doing, see how they were doing it, and then tailor it to meet our needs. And it's been something that again has been very helpful. I mean, we wouldn't do this without a checklist.
Yeah. It's a lot to remember, and it's not like it's a, none of this is bad, right? It's just a lot to remember. And so one of the things that we did, or I think you found this app, it's the Cozi app.
Yeah.
Cozi. I'll put a link below to it.
Yeah, and I think I found that in one of the forums. I'm in a lot of forums, so that's another place we get a lot of information from.
Yeah.
And I think somebody had said they were using that app, and it's free.
Yeah.
I think you can pay for it, but I think initially it's free.
Yeah.
I think there might be some features that you would have to pay for, but anyway, it's been a really useful app because we can both use it on our phones, even though I'm an iPhone and Android.
Yeah.
But we can update the list. We can check off the items. It's actually in a list format where you can check them off. You can add things, move it around. So it's actually been a very helpful list to keep track of the things we need to do.
Totally. And you can uncheck them. So after you've gotten to wherever you're going, you can uncheck everything on the list, and so now it's all fresh and ready to go for the next time. So it's a thing or two to remember, and so it just makes a huge difference in reducing the stress factor when some things have to happen before the others, and this kind of thing. We would call those dependencies in project management.
Yes, we would.
Yeah,
so yes, we have to make sure we are doing things in the right order,
because
there are some things that are critical.
Sure.
They're done in the right order, or else we could have an unpleasant situation.
Yeah, and we don't want that.
No,
yes,
we don't.
And one rule we picked up that we don't even remember who we got this from now, and I'm kind of bummed because we would have acknowledged them in our thanks and gratitude video, but there was a 333 rule that we got from some full-time RV couple, and it was a long time ago. I can't remember who they were, but this really has helped us too. So we don't drive any
we try not to.
Yeah, we try not to drive longer than 3 hours on a trip. We try not to drive more than 300 miles in a particular trip, and we really try to arrive before 3:30 in the afternoon. And all of those things, I think, make a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. I think, one of the things that we typically don't have to worry about if we're following that is we don't have to usually stop for gas.
That's true.
I usually fuel up the truck the night before we're hooked up.
Yeah.
And so once we get started on our travel journey, we've never had to stop for gas really. So we've been lucky, I guess, in that way that we've just not had to do that. And then, we never want to get any place at night. We don't want to be setting up at night. It's just too much, I think, for us to try to do that. I know some people are comfortable with that.
Sure. Yeah. Might work for a lot of people. Well, we can see that it works for a lot of people.
And we know it works for people because we see people, coming in, at dusk and at night. But it's just not easy for us to do. So we definitely try to make sure we're at our place, wherever we're going by 3:30 or earlier.
Yeah. And so all of these things really help with our travel day prep, between the list, the 333 rule, the Cozi app, and just really, sticking to those things.
Yeah, just really being diligent about it. Not cutting any corners.
Yeah.
It just makes, because I think when we first started doing it, it just felt like it took so long to do. It just felt like, oh my gosh, we're 24 hours out and we have so many things to do. But, now after having done this a few times, we realize it actually doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it's just a rhythm.
And since we have a good list to go through and make sure when we're hitching up that we're doing all the things we need to do to hitch up, and checking taillights and directional signals and all the things that you need to do before you really start to move, it really doesn't take that long, especially when you have a good process.
Yeah, and it just makes for a really good experience. So we're still working, and so Friday at noon on a travel weekend, I shut everything off at noon. I mean, I usually shut everything off at noon on Friday anyway, but on a travel day in particular, and because we have a toy hauler, so I just start putting everything in travel mode, kind of like a flight attendant, making sure everything is stowed properly and put away, and the windows down and the doors locked, and whatever, all those things that you need to do. And it's just helpful to have a list. And after a while, it will all become, second nature, but I would still check the list to make sure, because I can tell you, I almost always forget to put those glass doors down in the back. So you don't want to hit a bump on the 10 freeway and hear that crashing sound, right? Because the 10 freeway is a mess, right? So so it's just those kinds of things. It just makes for a much better travel experience.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what we wanted to cover today.
Yeah, that's it. Else? Travel day prep, super important, and we'll put a couple of links below we'll actually link you to the Changing Lanes video where they talk about their checklist, and we'll put a link down to the Cozi app.
Cozi app.
Yeah.
And then, I think that covers it.
Yeah.
So definitely subscribe
and like and comment.
Leave comments.
Yeah, tell us what you think. Maybe there's some things you do with your travel day, or there's a list that you use that really helps you not lose your marbles on travel day. What do you do? We'd love to hear it.
We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.